Have you ever loved someone and still felt completely alone? Imagine this. You're sitting next to them, talking, smiling, but deep inside, something feels missing, like your heart is reaching out and no one is reaching back. That's what it feels like for Pisces when love starts to die. They won't yell, they won't blame, they won't even explain. They'll just drift away, quietly, silently. And one day you'll realize they're gone. But here's the shocking part. They didn't leave because they stopped loving you. They left because they felt invisible. In today's video, we're diving deep into the hidden world of Pisces. Why do they walk away from people they once loved so deeply? What are the silent emotional wounds that push them to leave? And most importantly, how can you stop this from happening? If you're in love with a Pisces, or you're a Pisces yourself, what I'm about to share could change the way you see relationships forever. So, before we dive in, take a second to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs to hear this, because understanding Pisces might just save your love. Let's begin. Have you ever sat beside someone and felt like they couldn't see you? Like you were there, physically close, but your heart was standing all alone? For Pisces, that feeling isn't rare. It's the quiet pain they carry every day when their inner world becomes invisible. You see, Pisces loves through energy, through emotion, through unspoken understanding. When they share their dreams, their fears, their random late-night thoughts, they're not just talking, they're inviting you into their soul, into the world they rarely show anyone else. But when their partner doesn't notice, when their stories are met with silence, or worse, with disinterest, Pisces starts to feel something they fear the most: emotionally alone in a relationship. At first, they won't say anything. They'll brush it off, tell themselves you're just tired, busy, distracted. But with every ignored conversation, every missed moment to connect, they drift further inside themselves. Like a seashell closing tighter with each wave that hits. They stop sharing, they stop opening, and eventually they stop hoping. It's heartbreaking, not because they don't care, but because caring begins to hurt more than silence. And maybe you've seen this. Your Pisces partner suddenly becomes distant, quieter, not angry, just absent. They're still next to you, but emotionally, they're somewhere far away, somewhere you can't reach. And if you don't notice that silence, it becomes permanent. So how do you stop this from happening? Listen, truly listen, not just to their words, but to their silences. When they open up about something that seems small, treat it like it matters. Quiet. Tell them you see them, even when they don't ask to be seen. It's not about fixing their problems. It's about walking inside their emotional world and standing beside them. But sometimes it's not just about what you're missing. It's about what you're giving or not giving. Pisces pours affection into the people they love. Little texts in the middle of the day, random compliments, a soft touch on your shoulder when you're not expecting it. That's how they love. Quietly, constantly. But what happens when all that affection feels one-sided? When their partner stops noticing, stops responding, stops giving warmth back? Pisces doesn't complain. They don't ask for more. They retreat. Because if love feels like a one-way street, they'd rather stop walking. Imagine this. A woman wakes up every morning and kisses her partner on the forehead, day after day, for years. And one morning she doesn't. Not out of anger, but because she realized her affection was no longer noticed. That's how Pisces fades. Quietly, without confrontation. If your Pisces partner seems colder, ask yourself, when was the last time you reached out first? When did you last say, "I love you," without them saying it first? Did you miss their silence or mistake it for peace? Pisces doesn't need grand romantic gestures. They need to feel cherished in simple, consistent ways. A random message saying, "I'm thinking of you," holding their hand in the car without a reason, listening without checking your phone. These are the moments that refill their heart. These are the moments that keep them from leaving. But when those moments disappear, when their warmth is met with indifference, Pisces starts to believe that love is something they give, not something they receive. And that belief, it's the beginning of the end. Now let's talk about something most people don't realize. For Pisces, conflict isn't just a disagreement, it's emotional warfare. Arguments drain them not because they hate confrontation, but because they absorb every word like a sponge, every harsh sentence, every raised voice, every silent treatment. It soaks into their soul. And once that emotional sponge is full, they shut down. Picture this. A Pisces sits quietly while their partner argues. Not because they have nothing to say, but because their heart has locked itself away for protection. They're no longer part of the conversation. They're inside themselves, building walls to survive. You think they're ignoring you, but in reality, they're protecting themselves from you. Conflict makes Pisces associate the relationship with pain. Over time, instead of feeling safe in your presence, they feel anxious. Instead of feeling loved, they feel tired. They might still love you deeply, but love is voice. Sit beside them instead of across from them. Touch their hand. Say, "I know this is hard, but I want to understand you." Let them feel safe enough to speak. Remember, Pisces doesn't need you to win. They need you to understand. And now, perhaps the most hidden reason Pisces walks away: emotional invalidation. It's not always obvious. You might not even know you're doing it. But when Pisces shares a feeling and you respond with logic, you're slowly teaching them that their emotions don't matter. Imagine your Pisces partner tells you, "I feel sad today. I don't know why." And you say, "Don't be sad. There's nothing wrong." Seems harmless, right? But to Pisces, you've just told them their emotions are wrong, that their feelings don't deserve to exist. Over time, this pattern builds an invisible wall between you. Every "you're overthinking," every "it's not a big deal," every "stop being so sensitive," it chips away at their trust that you can hold their emotions, that you can hold them. And once that trust is broken, Pisces stops sharing, not because they don't feel, but because they've learned it's safer not to feel around you. The solution: it's simpler than you think. When they share a feeling, validate it. Say, "That sounds heavy. I'm here." Even if you don't understand, respect that they feel it. You don't have to fix them. You just have to stand beside them. Pisces isn't looking for solutions. They're looking for connection. So, listen to their silence. Warm their heart before it turns cold. Protect their spirit when conflict arises. And honor their feelings as if they were your own. Because loving a Pisces means loving the ocean inside them. An ocean that can either carry you closer or carry them away. Have you ever watched someone slowly stop believing in themselves? It doesn't happen all at once, especially not with Pisces. They're natural dreamers. visionaries, people who carry whole worlds inside their minds. But dreams are fragile, and Pisces needs someone to believe in their dreams just as much as they do. When their partner laughs at their creative ideas or calls their passions a waste of time, something inside them breaks. Quietly, gently, but painfully. Imagine a man who spends his nights painting, not for money, not for fame, but because creating art feeds his soul. One night, they pull away, not from the partner's body, but from their heart. If you love a Pisces, remember, their dreams aren't hobbies, they're oxygen. You don't have to understand their passions, but you must respect them. Celebrate their art. Encourage their strange ideas. Show interest in their world, even if it seems different from yours. With sometimes, it's not about art. It's about something even more tender. Romance. Pisces isn't just a romantic. They are the embodiment of romantic energy. They believe in soulmates, in movie-like moments, in handwritten letters, and late-night talks about the meaning of life. For them, love isn't practical, it's poetry. Yet so many people mistake their romantic nature for childishness. And when romance fades in a relationship, Pisces doesn't complain. They mourn, quietly. Think of a woman who remembers every anniversary, every small milestone. She plans little surprises, sends thoughtful messages, leaves notes on your pillow, and slowly, those gestures are ignored, or worse, expected. Her partner stops noticing, stops thanking her, stops giving back. She doesn't stop because she's angry. She stops because it hurts to give without being seen. For Pisces, romance is not optional. It's their way of feeling connected. Without it, they feel like the love is fading. Not in big dramatic ways, but in the absence of tenderness, the missing morning hugs, the unspoken "I miss you," the eyes that no longer light up when they enter the room. If your Pisces partner seems distant, ask yourself, when was the last time you made them feel special? Not with gifts, but with attention, with words, with affection given for no reason at all. It's not about big gestures. It's about small moments that whisper, "I still choose you." Because when Pisces feels cherished, they bloom. But when they feel forgotten, they fade. Yet love isn't just about togetherness. It's also about space. And here's something many people get wrong. Pisces loves deeply, but they also need to be alone. Not because they're rejecting you, but because solitude is how they recharge. Their mind is a constant swirl of emotions, thoughts, and energy from everyone around them. Time alone is how they find peace. But when their partner misunderstands this need, when every moment of silence is seen as rejection, when every retreat is met with suspicion or anger, Pisces starts to suffocate. Imagine a man who loves his partner dearly. Your Pisces partner asks for time alone. Let them have it. Don't take it personally. It's not distance. It's self-care. And when they return, they'll love you even deeper for respecting their need to retreat. Finally, there's something Pisces needs in a relationship that many people overlook completely: spiritual connection. Pisces doesn't just want someone to love. They want someone to share their soul with, to dream with, to wonder about the universe together. If their partner focuses only on work, money, or surface-level conversations, Pisces feels empty, like something vital is missing. Think of someone who lies awake at night, wanting to talk about dreams, about life after death, about why people love the way they do. And their partner says, "That's nonsense. Go to sleep." Each time this happens, Pisces feels a little more alone, not physically, but spiritually. And that kind of loneliness is the hardest to explain. It's not about believing the same things. It's about curiosity, openness, willingness to explore the unknown together. Whether it's talking about signs from the universe or the meaning of a strange dream, Pisces needs to feel that their inner world is respected. So even if you're a practical person, ask, listen, be present when they share their thoughts, not to debate, not to correct, but to understand. When you show interest in their unseen world, you become part of it. Because for Pisces, love isn't just about holding hands, it's about sharing souls. Now you've seen how silence, neglect, lost romance, and spiritual emptiness can push Pisces away. But what if I told you the final reasons are even more heartbreaking? In the next part, we'll explore the 3 deepest, most painful truths about why Pisces truly walks away, and they might just change the way you understand love forever. There's a moment in every Pisces relationship when something shifts. You may not notice it right away, but it happens, slowly, subtly. A moment when they stop sharing their intuitive thoughts. A moment when they stop trusting that you'll understand what they feel. You see, Pisces isn't just emotional, they're intuitive. They sense things others miss. They read energy, mood, silence. And when they try to share those insights, what happens when their partner laughs, or worse, tells them they're imagining things? Little by little, Pisces learns that their intuition isn't welcome in the relationship. Because they no longer believe you'll listen. That's how Pisces leaves emotionally, long before they physically walk away. If you've ever dismissed your Pisces partner's feelings as irrational, stop and think. Are they really irrational? Or are they simply speaking a language you forgot how to hear? Now let's talk about something even harder: trust. Not the obvious kind, but the emotional trust that's built when someone opens their soul to you. Pisces gives this trust easily, maybe too easily. They love fully, without walls. They believe in you before you believe in yourself. But once that trust is broken, it's nearly impossible to repair. And breaking it doesn't always look like betrayal. Sometimes it looks like coldness, like indifference when they open up, like mocking their sensitivity, like ignoring their tears. Pisces trusts you with their emotions. If you treat those emotions like inconveniences, you've betrayed their soul, even if you didn't mean to. They won't yell. They won't argue. They'll simply close off. They'll love you quietly, but from a distance you can't cross. Imagine a woman crying silently at night, lying next to a partner who never asks why. She tells herself, "It doesn't matter anymore." That sentence, it's the funeral of her emotional trust. So how do you rebuild what's been lost? You don't force conversations. You show consistency. You show presence. You prove, day by day, that her emotions matter again. And maybe, one night, she'll speak. And when she does, you listen, without fixing, without defending, just listen. Because sometimes, listening is the loudest act of love. Now, let's step into a reality Pisces faces too often. A relationship where feelings are measured instead of felt. Where every emotion needs a reason. Where vulnerability is treated like a problem that needs solving. Have you ever told someone how you felt, only to be told you're wrong for feeling it? Pisces hears that too often. Their emotions are dismissed as illogical. Their feelings are invalidated, not out of cruelty, but out of misunderstanding. You might think you're helping by saying, "Calm down, it's not a big deal." But to Pisces, you've just told them they shouldn't feel at all. And what happens when someone feels that their feelings are wrong? They stop expressing them. They lock them deep inside, where no one can judge. But buried emotions don't disappear. They transform into distance, into silence, into a sadness even they can't explain. It long for conversations about the unseen, about the purpose of life, about dreams, fate, and the mystery of existence. When they share these thoughts and get shut down, it cuts deeper than you think. It's not about agreeing. It's about respecting that part of their soul. Picture sitting under the stars with a Pisces as they wonder aloud about why souls meet. And you reply, "Stop overthinking." At that moment, you didn't just dismiss a question, you dismissed their essence. So, if you want to love a Pisces, open your mind. Let them take you into conversations that have no answers, because sometimes the answer is less important than the connection that happens during the asking. When Pisces feels their soul is seen, they stay. When they feel their soul is forgotten, they quietly leave. And here's the truth. Pisces won't leave you with anger. They'll leave you with silence, not because they want to, but because they've realized you're no longer listening. But what if I told you that the final 3 reasons Pisces walks away are the most painful of all? They're not about misunderstanding. They're about betrayal, about heartbreak, and about losing faith not just in love, but in people. Stay with me, because what's coming next might change the way you see Pisces forever. Have you ever wondered why someone can love you, yet still choose to leave? For Pisces, love isn't always enough to stay. Because when trust is broken, even love can't hold them. Pisces trusts easily. They give their heart without hesitation, not because they're naive, but because they choose to believe in goodness. They believe in the beauty of people. They see what others miss. But that trust is fragile, and once it's shattered, something inside them dies quietly. Betrayal for Pisces isn't always about cheating. It's about deception, small lies, hidden feelings, broken promises. A moment when they realize the person they loved wore a mask. Imagine a woman who discovers her partner lied about something small, maybe where they went, maybe who they spoke to. And when she asks why, they say, "It's not a big deal." But to her, it's everything, because she trusted blindly, completely, and now she questions everything. Pisces won't explode in anger. They won't beg for answers. They'll simply close off, like a door that shuts slowly but firmly. And once it locks, no apology can open it again. They may forgive, but they won't forget. Their heart remembers every crack. Deeper. Something most people never see until it's too late. Pisces dreams of a love where souls connect, a relationship that feels like magic. They crave meaning, depth, a shared purpose beyond daily life. But what happens when their partner cares only about the material world? When conversations revolve around money, success, appearances? Slowly, Pisces starts to feel misplaced, like a poet trapped in a world of accountants. Imagine a man who spends his evenings writing songs about the stars. His partner rolls their eyes. That won't pay the bills, so he stops writing. Not because he agrees, but because every word now feels meaningless. In that moment, love begins to die. Pisces doesn't despise material comforts, but they refuse to make them the center of their world. When love becomes a transaction, when success becomes the language of connection, Pisces feels lost, like their soul has no place in the relationship anymore. If you focus only on goals, money, or status, Pisces will stay silent, but inside, they'll be searching for a place where dreams matter more than numbers. So how can you protect their heart, balance, celebrate their creativity, ask about their passions, let conversations wander into the unknown? Show them you value feelings over appearances, because when their soul feels seen, their heart stays loyal. But here's where it gets painful. Pisces doesn't just drift when they're hurt. Sometimes they leave when they're exhausted. Emotional exhaustion isn't loud. It's the quiet realization that staying hurts more than leaving. Pisces is sensitive. They absorb the energy around them. Every fight, every harsh word, every cold shoulder, it drains them. Not instantly, but gradually, like a river that erodes a stone. Imagine two people who argue often, not screaming matches, just tension, distance, unspoken resentments. Pisces tries to fix it, at first. But each failed conversation, each unresolved conflict, chips away at their spirit, until one day they sit beside their partner and feel nothing. Not love, not hate, just emptiness. That's emotional exhaustion. It doesn't mean they stopped caring. It means caring became too heavy. If your Pisces partner seems distant, ask yourself, have they been carrying emotional weight alone? Do you listen when they speak? Do you offer comfort or judgment? Like mist in the morning. Until one day you wake up and realize the person who once loved you with their whole heart has emotionally disappeared. Not because they didn't love you, but because you didn't see their pain, because you didn't hear their silence, because you didn't protect their heart when it was slowly breaking. And yet, the most devastating reasons Pisces leaves, the ones almost no one talks about, are still to come. In the next part, I'll reveal the 3 final reasons that explain why Pisces walks away even from the person they love most. And trust me, they're the ones that will hurt the most to hear. There's one thing that breaks a Pisces heart more deeply than anything else. It's the moment they realize their partner cares more about appearances than about connection. You see, Pisces doesn't measure love in gifts, in status, or in how perfect a couple looks on the outside. They measure love in emotions, in depth, in vulnerability. But sometimes they find themselves with a partner who lives for the external world, who counts happiness in money, who talks endlessly about success, image, and how things look to others. And Pisces, they begin to feel like they're living someone else's life. They smile on the outside, but inside, their soul feels starved. Imagine a woman who dreams of slow mornings, deep conversations, and evenings under the stars, but her partner wants luxury dinners, designer clothes, and Instagram-perfect pictures. At first, she plays along. She tells herself this is love too. But over time, she starts to feel lost. Her dreams gather dust. Her heart feels small. And she begins to wonder, when did love become so hollow? Pisces doesn't hate comfort, but when life becomes shallow, when every conversation is about things instead of feelings, they slowly start to drift. Not out of anger, but because their soul is whispering, this isn't home. So, if your Pisces partner seems distant, ask yourself, have you been loving their soul or just enjoying their presence? Shift the focus. Talk about feelings, about dreams, about what matters to their heart. Let them know that you see them not as a trophy beside you, but as a soul walking with you. Because when Pisces feels emotionally and spiritually safe, they will love you with everything they have. But when they feel reduced to an accessory in someone else's life, they'll walk away, quietly, but permanently. And then there's the final wound, the deepest, aside, again and again, in silence. They start to feel invisible, like a shadow in their own love story. Imagine a man who listens to his partner's problems every night, who comforts them, supports them, uplifts them. But when he tries to speak about his own sadness, there's no space, no listening, just silence. Night after night, he swallows his own pain, and one day, he stops trying. Pisces leaves not because they wanted to, but because they realized no one even noticed they were fading. If your Pisces partner has grown quiet, check your own heart. Have you made space for their feelings? Do you ask, how are you really feeling? And then stay silent long enough to hear the answer? Pisces needs reciprocity, not in grand gestures, but in shared emotional labor, shared vulnerability, shared care. Because even the most loving heart cannot carry two souls forever. And now, you understand. Pisces doesn't leave out of anger. They leave when they feel alone, invisible, unheard. They leave when their soul no longer feels safe beside yours. They leave when silence becomes kinder than staying. So if you're loving a Pisces, listen more deeply. See beyond their smile. Hold their heart before they no longer offer it. Because once they're gone, they rarely return. Love isn't about holding tighter. It's about understanding deeper. And that brings us to the end of this journey. But maybe it's not really the end. Maybe it's the start of a new way of loving, a quieter, deeper, safer kind of love. If you saw yourself in this video, or if someone you care about crossed your mind, take a moment to share this message. Maybe they need it more than you realize. And if you found value in these words, subscribe to this channel. There's so much more to explore. Because understanding others starts with understanding ourselves. And together, we'll keep learning. Until next time, take care of your heart. And don't forget to listen to theirs.